Bonjour tout le monde, hello everyone. First of all, I would like to thank the scientific committee for having given me the opportunity to present my work today. My name is Nicolas Lemaine and I currently working as a postdoctoral fellow at Institute of Vine and Wine Science at Oenological Research Unit. Our main activity is to characterize, preserve, and increase the organoleptic characteristic of wine. Today, I will present a part of my research work under the supervision of Stéphanie Marchand, entitled Influence of Vine Nitrogen and Water Status on Wine Aroma During Aging, by giving some examples from Champagne and Bordeaux region. To begin, I will present you the aroma described for the red wine of Bordeaux and those of reserve wine of Champagne. As you can see on this slide, some aromas are specific to the product category and others are shared. Regarding the flavor of tobacco and cigar box, they are commonly described in both products. The aromas of tobacco were previously described in wine by the presence of chemical compound called megastigmatrienon or tabanon. 5 isomers has been described in the wine, with only one coming exclusively from the contact with oak wood. This evidence leads to the next question: does it exist a correlation between tabanon level and wine nitrogen or water status for Bordeaux and Champagne reserve wine? To explore this hypothesis, a study was carried out in Bordeaux on several plots of vines. The plots were composed of Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon, and Cabernet Franc. From 1996 to 2007, indicators of water and nitrogen status were measured several times during the vegetative growth stage up to the harvest. The grapes for these parcels were vinified separately, bottled, and aged. Chemical analysis was carried out at 2014 vintage. Tabanon were quantified in wine using gas chromatography, mass spectrometry, analytical method. A first analysis of the results shows that there is no correlation between the vine nitrogen status and tabanon content. The second correlation highlights a link of tabanon content to vine water status. The results are presented on this graph. As you can see, the horizontal axis segments the different levels of water stress according to the results of the research work of Van Leeuwen et al. 2009, where the left part of the axis corresponds to the no vine water deficit status, while the right part corresponds to the severe vine water deficit status. The dotted green curve shows that this value corresponding to the pre-down leaf water potential, so the vine water status indicators. The bar of the histogram represents the content of 4 tabanons isomers. You can note that isomer number 2 of tabanon is not present. It is the isomer of the oak wood. The absence of this isomer can be easily explained as the analyzed wines were not aged in barrels. The red curve represents the sum of the 4 detected tabanon isomers. It has been observed that more the water deficit increase, higher the quantity of tabanon are found in the wine after aging. While no comparable study was available for vine indicator and champagne wines, this correlation has not been shown for that type of wines. However, the analytical method used highlighted that tabanon was also present in the reserve champagne wines. The correlation with vine nitrogen status and champagne reserve wines needs to be confirmed. Coming back to the concept of qualitative aging bouquet of aromas of the two products, truth and undergrowth aromas as described in the literature by the presence of dimethyl sulfide, also cited as DMS in wines. The particularity of this chemical compound is that it can have several aromatic effects in wines depending its contents. Indeed, at high concentrations, DMS will give to the wine aroma of truth and undergrowth. However, at lower concentrations, it can increase the aromatic perception of blackberry fruits and more precisely those of blackcurrant. This phenomenon is called perceptive interaction. The raised question about this compound was, does it exist a correlation between DMS level and vine nitrogen or water status for Bordeaux and Champagne Reserve wines? For this purpose, the same Bordeaux red wine previously described were used for chemical analysis. The first results did not reveal the correlation between DMS level and vine water status. However, a correlation was observed between DMS level and vine nitrogen status. As you can see to the present graph, the horizontal axis segments the different levels of vine nitrogen status according to the results of the research work of Van Leeuwen et al. 2000, where the left part of the axis corresponds to the low vine nitrogen status, while the right part corresponds to the high vine nitrogen status. The histogram bar corresponds to the DMS content measured in the wines. The green dotted curve represents the must used astivial nitrogen, cited as YAN, at the harvest stage. YAN was the nitrogen status indicator used for this correlation. The results show that more the vine nitrogen status increase, higher are the DMS level found in wine after aging. Concerning the origin of DMS in wine, previous studies have shown that its main precursor is synthesized in grapes in S-methyl-methionine form, cited as SMM and also called PDMS form from precursor of DMS. PDMS is an amino acid derivative produced by the plant and therefore associated with nitrogen metabolism. Via aging that SMM hydrolyze, the sulfur parts with the two methyl groups will form the volatile and odoriferous DMS in the wines. The raised question about this compound was, does it exist a correlation between PDMS level in must and vine nitrogen status for Bordeaux and Champagne? To explore this hypothesis, a study was carried out in Champagne on several plots of vines. The plots were composed of Pinot Noir grapes for two vintages, 2016 and 2018. Indicators of nitrogen status was measured several times during the ripening stage up to the harvest. The grapes from this parcel were then chemical analysis. When the YAN content are compared to the level of PDMS measured by gas chromatography mass spectrometry, we obtain this type of correlation. It is obvious that the correlation is not evident. Nevertheless, another indicator of the vine nitrogen status was also considered. As PDMS is an amino acid derivative, we test a correlation related to the quantification of 21 amino acids. Among them, two amino acids show interesting results. They are glycine and glutamine. You can see it's a present graph for the 2018 vintage. The level of glycine and glutamine were correlated to the PDMS level in the must. This result was reproductive for the 2016 vintage, marked by with orange dots. Consequently, DMS levels are correlated in Bordeaux red wine with must YAN level. However, in must, it is the level of glycine and glutamine that are correlated with the precursor of DMS, the PDMS. Therefore, this suggests an effect of YAN during fermentation that may impact the DMS level in the wine during aging. This study is in progress in your laboratory for confirmation. The raised question for the professionals about this compound was, Which are the practices that may lead to increase of DMS level in wines? This study demonstrated that increasing wine nitrogen status has a significant effect on increasing PDMS and DMS levels. Several practices can be used to increase the wine nitrogen status. For example, fertilizers or amendments added on the soil. Commercially, we can find green fertilizers, organic fertilizers, and mineral fertilizers. The efficiency of these practices is well proven. Nevertheless, they depend on the vintage, the climatic conditions, the temperature, the rainfall, the soil type, and the vineyard plot topography. The effect will be variable and will simultaneously lead to an increase in the vigor, yield, sensibility to the grey rot, yan of the berry, and decrease the polyphenol synthesis. That means that this practice will not only act on yan level and therefore has some negative points. There is another technique that can affect the vine nitrogen status, such as the foliar fertilization applied by spray. Several questions have been raised about this technique. When? During the ripening period. Why? Because it will increase the yan level without provoking the negative point previously mentioned. However, foliar fertilization must be adapted to avoid decrease of polyphenol synthesis in red grape and an excess of yan in must. The excessive yan content in must would induce, for example, high volatile acidity levels after fermentation, and it is not the objective. For red wine, there is another risk. The graph that is presented on this slide shows the free amino acid found in the wine as a proportion of the must yan contents. Higher is the concentration of yan in the must, higher is the concentration of free amino acid in the wine. This fact will have some consequences concerning the microbiological stability of wines. Also, only one study showed a limited effect of residual nitrogen in wines on the development of Brettanomyces. The matrix effect is too complex to conclude that there is no risk. Nevertheless, on white wine, the effects are different, especially with the reserve wine of Champagne. Coming back to the concept of the aroma definition of wines, the grilled, smoked, pasty, and nut notes may be revealed in wine by the presence of aromatic heterocycle. They are produced by the Maillard reaction between an amino acid and an alpha decarbonyl compound. The latter is produced by the fermentation in the wines. These molecules are composed of a nitrogen atom involving the wine nitrogen status and the vine nitrogen status. Once we study the content of the aromatic heterocycle in relation to the amino acid contents in Champagne reserve wine, we have obtained the following results. The bar of the histogram corresponds to the content of heterocycle. The dark green color indicates wine with a high amino acid content. In lighter green color, the amino acid content decreases. The higher were the content of amino acid in still wine from Champagne, more heterocycles there were found after aging. Therefore, depending on the typicity of the white wine desired, vine nitrogen status may have a positive aromatic effect. So, to sum up with, I will resume the hypothetical consequences of foliar nitrogen application on wine DMS level during aging. The increase of vine nitrogen status leads to an increase in PDMS level in musts and DMS levels in aged wines. In the vineyard, the optimal time to apply foliar nitrogen could be in the mid-veraison. The application of foliar nitrogen later than mid-veraison stage will have less effect on yan content in must, as the efficiency of foliar nitrogen application decreases during the ripening period. A foliar nitrogen application from veraison to maturity stage may theoretically provide, firstly, an increase of PDMS content in must and DMS in wine during aging may provoke a positive aromatic effect on both products during aging. Secondly, an increase of IAN and amino acid contents in must may provoke a positive effect on the aromatic profile of both products. However, this may turn to negative effect for both products if we exceed 250 mg per liter of IAN in must. Thirdly, an increase of amino acid content in red wine may provoke a negative effect due to the microbiological stability. In contrast, for the Champagne Reserve wine, this effect is positive due to the favorization of aromatic heterocycle production. Fourthly, a decrease of polyphenol synthesis in grapes is definitely negative for red wine quality due to lack color and structure. However, this effect is positive for all white wine production. Finally, we suggest that a good compromise could be that IAN indicators should not exceed 200 mg per liter for red and 250 for white must at harvest stage. However, for red grape, 200 mg per liter of IAN must be followed of vine water deficit in order to avoid a decrease in polyphenol content. All these hypotheses need to be confirmed. To conclude, the vine nitrogen and water status modify the content of these aromatic wine compounds during aging. Fertilization and irrigation may modify the vine water and nitrogen status, except in humid regions where the vine water status cannot be modulated. Nitrogen remains an integral part of the terroir effect, and it's available to the plant naturally through water. Before undertaking diverse cultivation practices who aim to increase or decrease the aroma of aging, we must keep in mind that the bouquet of great wine is defined by a complexity where no aromatic note dominates. The olfactory expression is the balance of several aromas. They are influenced by the status of the vine as well as enological practices. Practices must therefore be adapted to the final target. Thank you for your attention. You can find more information on these results in the publication posted here. Please feel free to contact me if you have any questions. My email is written at the bottom of the slide. I will be happy to answer your questions. Goodbye and have a great day.